welcome to the stream. Doing something a little different. We're gonna do some Loop Heroes. See how that works for stream-wise. I know it's probably something I'm gonna have to talk a lot more about compared to other games because of not having any other people with me. But hopefully we can get this, just have some fun. I know it's a little later than I usually start, but trying to figure out what game we were playing. Group ended up deciding they wanted to play something, so I just let them go about that, and I just stayed here on this. So, just gonna have a little bit of fun. It's gonna be a new game. Fresh start. I will leave it on the screen so you guys can read it. I am probably not going to be reading any of this since I have already played this somewhat. Might be a little bit on the quieter side for this stream, just due to the fact that not knowing exactly what to talk about. Lastly, at the start, a lot of me just trying to focus on character, but we'll see how that goes. Probably just gonna run through the basics of how the game works. It's just gonna be a lot of what button does what. Okay, so we have cursor does that. Ah, interesting. Okay. Fingers do not go off the screen. Interesting. So this shows you like their health, damage, speed of attack, stuff like that. Trying to see if I can look at the top section. Let's use the card. Oh, you can also just use your D-pad to move your cursor around instead of your mouse. Or your D-pad instead of your joystick. My fault. I want to know. Hold LT to move. Show equipped. Okay, cool. And on top of that, down here at the bottom of that box, it also shows you what they are known as. So this is known as a living creature that has a soul. Do 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 do. This is a nice other section of the game where this is like your base camp. You actually get to sit up and build things. Click on it, see what it gives us. So our camp gives us more health every time we walk through it. This is our quest that we're doing, so just keep on moving. So different cards interact with other cards. We'll see that a little bit later on here when I get a little bit further into it. You can look here, it shows you that any additional rock or mountain, it gets 5 more. This one gives you more per day, stuff like that. I'm probably only going to do 1, maybe 2 runs, and I'm probably going to call a stream, depending on how long that takes. I know some of these runs we can get up to like quite a ways in there. And the more you play, the more you learn, see what other cards do with each other. A lot of the earlier game, you're pretty much just meeting all the creatures and hearing from them. As you've seen there, when I put the meadow next to the rock, it actually created a blooming meadow, which increases the amount per heal per day. Let me think here. Let's just, yeah, we'll do there. Get some more meadows placed down, and, we can look at the different stats between our two gear pieces. These are pretty much all the same right now because they're all level 1. There's sometimes a little bit of a variant, but most of the time it's the same. Actually going to be upping the movement speed, just so we can get through these a little bit faster here. So we're not waiting forever between fights. I haven't been thinking about these. I don't know. I'll start with this up here. So this you can't place next to any adjacent tiles. You have to place it by itself because it does affect what you put around it. I'm just gonna have some fun. So for instance, when I hit the camp, this battlefield creates a chest on a tile adjacent to it every time you complete a loop. So it's only nice to have at the beginning or spread out through all the way through the map. Check a couple things. So as you've seen there, when I had the 3x3 of mountains and rocks, it creates this, which is the mountain peak, which has some fun little different things that it attaches to it. So every 2 days it spawns a new creature. We'll get to see that here coming up. So, you know, up here above my finger pointer, the sun shows you the time of day. The bottom one shows you how close you are to the boss level. So, let's keep going. And you can see as I walk through that tile, I actually got resources. Every time you walk through a tile, and sometimes when you kill things, it also gives you resources depending on what you kill, which will help back at your base camp. Every time you place 11 or 10 of the mountains or rocks, you get a goblin camp. Just surprised there's no goblins yet. Alright, let's keep going. See if we can get some nice loot from this chest. Alright. Get our sword and our armor. Sweet. And this down here is our stats for our character at the moment. So, or my character, I should say. I can get more of you guys to watch these streams. I can actually get you guys' input on what I should change out and stuff like that. So, it'll be a lot more of a team-based. How do we want to increase our character? If you notice, I put this a little bit farther away from the other one. I like having the zones of them being spread out. It's a personal preference. Some people like it closer, some people don't care. If they are on top of each other, like the zone itself, it does actually create another item inside the path that you walk that I'm just not interested in too much. It could be good, I just haven't figured that out yet. I haven't played too much, like I've played it quite a bit, but not great at the game, so I'm not great at most games I play, so I'll have to see how I can do and what you guys think. I know at the moment no one else is in here, or no one's in here, but yeah. There's always time for someone to join. There's always time for people to have fun. So when the game comes out and you actually first play it, there's a lot of settings that I personally don't care for. Wait, which one's this? This is the Pro Light. Reduces the maximum response. Not sure if I'm gonna like that, but we'll try that for right now. Let's see what we got here. Attack damage, defense, and regen, speed. Versus attack speed. Yeah, no, we'll keep what I have. So for instance, on this new first area that we have to fight, the boss spawns off. Every boss spawns in your camp, but it depends on which act you're on, depends on what occurs in the area. So for instance, this first one makes a base around your main camp, and its strength is increased based on the number of towers that creature or the boss puts in there. So, ooh, I'm actually gonna upgrade to this, even though it's a little less for like your pure damage and vampirism. So I'm gonna have a little less life steal in a sense. I will get evasion, which is it's one of the stats that I like going for. It's like my secondary. So here we go, some more characters. Woohoo! Ooh. I feel like this is them trying to take it easy so far. Sometimes the level is nice, sometimes the rarity itself is nice, so the higher the rarity, the more stats types it has, the higher the level of the gear, the higher the stats overall are. So like for instance, let's look at this guy here. So he got rage. Due to the fact that we killed one of the additional allies. And that's nice because it shows you the icon here in the corner, or right above their health bar. In later acts, they'll start having a lot more given perks to them. Right now, it's just their base ones. Alright, let's see here. Shoot, I put the rock in the wrong spot. That's what I did. I personally don't care to fight goblins because I don't feel like I can take care of them usually. So I usually just delete their encampments. I feel like I get overwhelmed with them when I do fight them. Usually when we start getting into the actual creation of the deck, which I believe will start happening probably after this run, if not a little later, it will start getting interesting. I'll have a little bit more of sometimes a little bit more strategy based off of what actual stuff I have to use. Because certain things synergizes better with others. So even though we're on loop 4 or 5, I can't actually see because I have my things on the side. Interesting. I'll have to move that around here. Probably between next stream and this one. Ooh, there we go. So I really like counterattack. Or counter and invasion. So this is like my go-to stats for this particular type of character. It just feels better. and then on top of it, the damage to all is nice. Because sometimes you get a little overwhelmed with just being a solo character versus 4, sometimes 5 creatures. So as you see here, it's a little. So far, it's not too bad, but it does get dicier later on. Actually, even though this is something that's going to help me, I'm going to remove that in case if we get another treasury. So I can put it, we can make it like a pattern to it. Guys, just gonna do a little check, see. No, we're good. I am going to actually, before we get too much farther, options. We are going to. I'm actually gonna make it a little bit easier for you guys to see by going to this type of font. You might be able to read it better, actually. To well, we'll leave it at this for right now. I do like the pause at the end of the loop, pause after every battle. Not personally, because I've played it enough. I don't feel like I need it to pause. If I want it to pause, I can pause it myself. Battle pause when having. These two are nice to have on, because then you can like actually physically see what's going on a little bit easier. Not exactly sure what the speed run mode is. I don't think I've seen that one before. Hopefully, I'm gonna leave everything like it is for right now for sound, not knowing exactly how it sounds. So. If I had anyone in chat, I would ask them to see how it sounds. If it needs to change, I would change it at that time. But here we go. There we go. Should be able to read a lot of the stuff a lot better, a lot more smoother. Alright, let's go. This over here. Just gonna keep this going. See, probably as soon as this loop's done, or this loop is ran through, I'm probably gonna do a little bit of showing you guys in the village, and then after that, I will probably be switching games, which means the stream will go down, and then we'll come back up here momentarily after we figure out what game we're playing. But for right now, this is how we're just gonna play this for right now until get more people in here. You see how sometimes things start stacking up if you just let it go. It's part of the reason why I like the not having it pause when looking at stuff. So, or after every fight, you can get things a little bit faster here. I'm actually gonna, like I said, I love counter. It's my favorite type of ability here. Get these going. Let's get some spiders laid out around the map here. Some more mobs to kill. The more mobs, the more loot you get, which means the better off you're going to be in the long run, as long as you can make sure you can maintain and kill them. Let's see what it's going to take up. There. So for instance, the vampire mansions, when they overlap, it doesn't actually cause anything to occur. Or at least not on the map, or something physically changing. It does change a little bit more in the battle on that square. I really like the soundtrack they have for this. It fits the theme. It just feels really nice and smooth. So for instance, this right here is just a straight upgrade. So we'll take that. So as you can see, there are 4 colors, 4 rarities of weapons and armor and stuff. So you got your gray, which is your common. You got your blue as your rare, uncommon. You got your like a yellowish color, which is your God, I can't think of what I'm thinking here. Your epic, and then you got your orange, which is like your legendary. So your daytime still passes during fights, so if you have long fights, you can make it so you don't have to worry about some of the skills. They'll help out with longer fights, I should say. Just like I said, I personally don't care for these road lanterns. I'd rather be able to fight more creatures to get more loot. I think that's my main reason why I would rather not do it that way. So, no, I'm just gonna have a little bit of fun. This game has been out for a while. It's been out for PC a lot longer than it has on Xbox. Just recently found it on Xbox, so I just gotta install it. Figured I'd stream it for you guys, and, just have some fun with it. And there's our... Just gonna, you know... Where do I not have spiders yet? Let's do some spiders over here. No, I actually don't want their shoot. Oh well. The reason why I don't want it there is because it's right next to the grove. There's a thing called the Blood Grove that could go next to it, but it only can attach to the grove. That's what I was gonna hope to put there, but I'll get a Blood Grove here, here, and here. If I was really thinking about it, not knowing this deck that it automatically has, I probably would put a Blood Grove where this mansion is and put the mansion on the other side. Just how I like playing it. They synergize well, or decently together. Ooh, we got a Mimic. I know I haven't been showing you guys the stats for every creature, but the Mimics are interesting because it's the chest that you get from the battlefield. Sometimes they actually are enemies to actually physically kill instead of just a chest to break open. There. Another one of those. We will take this and put this over here. That's another decent combination, is having the battlefield with the Blood Grove and the... or the Grove and then the Blood Grove, but as for what I know, not exactly sure if there's actually a Blood Grove within the deck at the moment, because I haven't seen it yet. I like having the our resources that we've collected for this run, which are these here, showing at all times, but you can't hide them, so you can actually physically see what's behind it. I just like having them there so I can know what I've collected so far. Because there is a limit to how much you can collect per run. So like that ghost right there was because of the battlefield. That's one of the features of the battlefield. If a creature dies, it could spawn a ghost. So, just gonna see what we got here. Damage to all is nice. I definitely see damage to all a lot more being more useful on the second run or the second act than I do the first act. Just due to the fact of the boss, but that's more of a, you know, how do you want to build your characters, how do you want to play it. Let's think here. So for instance, if I wanted to try to make another 9 section of the mountains, you actually can't, so there's only one mountain peak that you can have at a time. So if I did decide I just want to put all my mountains together, I could, but it's not worth it. You only get one mountain peak. Now it is nice to have the mountain peak inside a whole bunch of rocks, because then you're surrounding the mountain peak itself with rocks, which then gives the rocks higher stats. Ooh. Do I switch it out? So So defense is nice because you don't get as much damage, but the counter does go down, so you're not dealing as much damage. I think I'm going to switch it because I would like to survive, since I have been taking quite a few hits at the moment. So let's just keep this going, see how far we can get. Ooh, we're getting close there to death. We're in the hundreds. 102. Should probably pause and see how farther we can make it. 60. So we are here. Like to make it at least back there one more time to the camp. I can leave right now, right here, with this down here, this little running guy. I can leave, but you do lose resources if you leave early. If you leave while you're at the camp, you actually get to keep all the resources that you have. So I am going to attempt to make it back to camp at least. I would like to at least do that today. Actually, due to the fact that we're going to camp, I'm actually going to just throw these down to actually show you what a treasure does when you actually fill up the squares around it. So it breaks down, gives you a whole bunch of resources, a couple new items, and a couple more tiles to lay down for yourself. So they're really helpful. You can destroy them if you want, you don't have to. It does spawn a new creature every 3 days, so it depends on if you like having more creatures or not in your game. If you do use the Oblivion, you actually reduce the amount of, or how close you are to spawning the boss, which is a little interesting and fun, but it's good information to know. I'm probably going to die here. That gets me to 20, but I lose the counter, which is a bad idea. Like, Ghost Sword, increased damage, lose lose one in defense, but get the ability to heal more. Lose a little bit of counter, and I think to make it so I survive, I think I might have to do that, just to give myself a little bit of healing. I cut it really close on this fight. Ooh. I'm probably actually going to remove most of my counter and try to just focus on trying to heal to make it so I can actually get back to the extraction. And that's it. So since I couldn't make it back, and I died, it's showing you what I get to keep, what I lose. So, fortunately, since we haven't even attempted to fight a boss, I don't actually have any of the skulls to do that. to keep all the resources. So we're gonna lose some, but what do you know? It's the first run. Character doesn't have all the stats and all the stuff it needs. I probably could have done better if I, you know, was better at playing games, but just having a little bit of fun. Here we go, back at the camp. Hello, welcome to the stream. Getting close to the end here with what I'm gonna do probably on this game, and then we're probably gonna be switching games out to something else. So depending on who all is online at that time. I do know there are already 4 people online that I usually play with on Friday nights. So depending on if they're switching games yet or not, or if they're going to try to keep playing what they are playing, we'll see. Like I said, with this being the first stream of this game and the new start, there's probably going to be a lot of just chat boxes that are popping up here. I'm going to be honest with y'all, I'm not the best at reading, so that's why I'm choosing not to read it for you guys. And since I'm still a small streamer, I know there's not a lot of you actually out there at the moment. I might get more later on in career if I decide to keep going about this, but right now I'm just trying to have some fun. Here's all the resources. You can actually scroll over them so you can see what they are. The circle ones are like the small bits of them, and the squares are the actual full resource itself. So I believe it takes 10 of the... never mind. So it looks like 12 or 13. So each one has its own different count of how many pieces it needs to actually create a full one. So if we have some 12 stacks to make full, got 13, and we even got a 20 for this particular one. So, let's see. Here's all the stats that I have at the moment. Like I said, it was my first run. It's a brand new game, so... we'll keep playing. If you guys like this, awesome. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. I'm actually gonna build a kitchen really quick because it is nice to have, and we get a new character. So, or not a new character, just new townsfolk to listen to. Any support that you guys do to any of the channel or from the YouTube side or the Twitch side, it's much appreciated. Let your friends know if you could. You don't have to. So like for instance, this kitchen, campfire healing power is increased by 10%. On top of that, that's where the blood growth comes in. So we didn't actually have the Blood Grove on the first run. We now have the Blood Grove that we can edit in our deck for the next one. We can also upgrade it or destroy it. Here's all the costs for the upgrade at the moment. Now all the stuff we have known, we don't actually own the one resource, which if I remember correctly is the one that takes 20 to upgrade. I don't think the camp itself can be upgraded, and then our little survivor tents can't be upgraded or destroyed. So but yeah, that's pretty much the game so far. There's like a little tree here that it shows. These are all the different buildings I can put into this. Each building has its own thing that it unlocks. Different characters. This particular one unlocks a new class that I can play. You got some cards that I can unlock. There's potions, and there's a whole bunch of this game. So if you guys like this, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, follow for some more. I'm actually going to be calling it quits here. So hopefully everyone liked it and enjoyed it. Do a little bit of a peace out and have a great night and a wonderful life. Peace.